12 people are dead and 29 injured after last night's terror attack at Bondi Beach in Sydney. Among the injured are 2 police officers and a heroic bystander who wrestled a gun from one of the shooters. One of the 2 gunmen is among the dead, with the other in a critical condition. The killings targeting Australians celebrating a Jewish festival has been declared an act of terror.
This cowardly act of terrifying violence is shocking and painful to see and represents some of our worst fears about terrorism in Sydney. This attack was designed to target Sydney's Jewish community on the first day of Hanukkah. What should have been a night of peace and joy celebrated in that community with families and supporters has been shattered by this horrifying, evil attack.
As Prime Minister, I say, on behalf of all Australians to the Jewish community, we stand with you, we embrace you, and we reaffirm tonight that you have every right to be proud of who you are and what you believe. You have the right to worship and study and live and work in peace and safety, and you enrich us.
Emma Olsen is a Channel 10 reporter based in Sydney, and she joins me now with the latest. Emma, thanks so much for being with us this morning. What do we know so far about last night's attack and how it evolved?
Good morning, Michael. Well, as you've said, they've declared it as a terrorist incident last night. This was within 3 hours of the shooting actually happening that they declared this. It was very quick, which is quite significant. 12 people have been confirmed dead, one of which is one of the shooters, and 29 people have been taken to hospital. It's believed that 1 child is among these people and 2 police officers. Now, the shooting unfolded around 7:15 last night, where 2 men had long-armed shotguns. They had approached the beach at the North Bondi end on what we call a concrete bridge that is from the car park to the beach, and they started opening firing on what is a Jewish community Christmas event. They were celebrating the first day of Hanukkah, but called it Chanukah, and it's believed that more than 1,000 people were at this event. Now, we don't know a motive at this stage, but it is coming out as though it looks as though it is targeted to this Jewish event. Now, it went on for about 15-20 minutes, and then as you said, a brave bystander ended up tackling one of the shooters and taking a gun off him and disarming him. And, you know, I live about 5 kilometres away from Bondi, and I could hear sirens coming from basically every direction. The aftermath of Bondi Beach, there was just stuff scattered all across the park. There was prams, there was shoes, there was towels, just people's belongings, because it just shows how quickly people got up and got out of there when it all took place. Now, many people were saying after the fact that they actually mistook the gunshots for fireworks, which is incredibly distressing in itself. Last night, the police, they had a very large exclusion zone as they were looking for IEDs, improvised explosive devices, which they actually found in one of the shooters' cars. Relatives have actually overnight started to come forward and name some of their relatives who have been affected by this and killed in the incident, which is incredibly sad. And just the whole Sydney community, Australian community is, I think, quite numb waking up this morning after last night's event.
Yeah, absolutely, Emma. I mean, can you tell us more about we've seen that sort of multiple displays of heroism by ordinary Australians. The man who tackled and disarmed the attacker, what more do we know about that individual?
What's come out overnight is that it's actually a shop owner, a local shop owner, and he is a father of 2. We don't know too many more details other than that at this stage, but I'm very much looking forward to when we do get to speak with him, because he is an absolute hero, and I think the world is seeing that and commending him for what he did, because he saved so many lives.
It's extraordinary stuff. I mean, how has the Jewish community responded in the hours since the shooting?
Well, they've obviously condemned the attack, and I think their Their sights are set on just, giving support to the whole Jewish community. I mean, they've really been through it over the last year or two. The anti-Semitic attacks in Sydney has just absolutely skyrocketed. We've seen so many come, and Jewish restaurants, synagogues, they've all been targeted. There's fire bombings. We've had Nazi symbols spray painted across buildings. All the Jewish schools in Sydney, they have heightened security with security guards patrolling 24/7 while kids are in school. They're living their lives in fear, which is incredibly saddening.
So what is Minister Albanese saying about this? Because this is one of the things that the Israeli authorities are saying, is that essentially Australia has failed to deal with this wave of anti-Semitic attacks. So what is he saying in terms of resources, in terms of preventing, some sort of copycat of this occurring again?
Well, we heard from the Premier, Chris Minns, last night, who was thanking all the emergency service workers for their efforts, but then that was followed by the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, who said that this evil was unleashed is beyond comprehension. He says that all their resources will be being put into this. Questions have now been raised over the security levels in Australia. How can something like this be happening? I mean, it wasn't an anti-Semitic event, but last year in April, we saw the Bondi stabbings, which killed 6 people too. So as I said before, people are just living in fear now. Australia prides itself in being a safe country, but that image is essentially being shattered now.
And Emma, can you just tell us, just before we go, I mean, you're saying that you lived quite close to where this event unfolded. I mean, how are you feeling personally this morning, and how are your friends who, live with you? Did you guys head there as soon as it started to unfold, or what did you do, and how are you feeling?
I'm shaken, as most Sydney-siders will be. It's actually hitting quite close to home, because my friends and I, hours prior, had talked about going down to Bondi Beach for a picnic, and it wasn't until one of our friends said, actually, I'm a bit tired tonight, maybe we do it another night. And so we didn't end up going down, and, I guess that was the universe telling us that we didn't need to be there. Which I am incredibly thankful for. But I had a lot of friends down. They were at different bars and restaurants across Bondi Beach. Sydney summer is beautiful. People head to Bondi Beach, thousands of people on what was a beautiful night last night. And so many people, they witnessed everything happening. There was videos that my friends were sending me inside the restaurants, everyone taking shelter when they heard the shooting happen. And yeah, everyone, like I personally got a lot of messages from people around the world saying, "Are you okay?" as soon as they heard it. And I'm sure so many other people in Sydney will be getting that too. But yeah, as I said, everyone's just waking up shaken.